Hi everyone, it's Grace. Welcome back to my channel. As you know, I usually upload my videos in the middle of the week, and recently I decided to adjust the YouTube schedule to the weekend so it is more convenient for you to view. Most of my videos suggest you to check the source and sometimes even sit in front of the laptop to do some serious research. For this purpose, I will adjust my schedule to Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for your convenience. So let's get to today's topic. In last week, I summed up 7 important comparisons between investing a resale home and a new home. And today, I will make another important comparison between investing a condo and a single-family home. These two types of properties are quite different, so make sure that you know all the comparisons and differences between making an investment decision. Number 1, value appreciation. The first thing that investors should consider is whether a property will appreciate in great values in the future in a given period of time. There are many factors that influence the value appreciation prospect of both condos and single families. A condo sits in a building and is usually influenced by the building's location, the condo's view, its direction, and other features. Sometimes people even take into consideration the feng shui of a condo, depending on the floor number and the condo's relative direction to the sun, etc. In comparison to condo, a single-family home's value appreciation is dependent on the location, its surroundings, the community, and its proximity to infrastructure. Single-family homes are also influenced by feng shui and its direction, its exterior and interior designs. But for the purpose of today's discussion, I will not get into details about feng shui and only focus on the main points. Since there are many condos in a building, the condo similarity will give consumers a lot of choices, while single-family home is a standalone structure with no other structure above it. Its location is relatively more exclusive than a condo. For this reason, generally speaking, a single-family home appreciates more in value than a condo in a given period of time. Number 2, cash flow generation. The second most important comparison between a condo and a single-family home is whether a property can generate a steady stream of cash flow over the life of ownership. Cash flow is crucial for investors because it is an important source of passive income. With steady cash flow, investors can accumulate more wealth while having more free time to do other things. Good condo buildings are usually located in urban centers with a lot of rental opportunities. People like to rent condos because they're close to offices, shopping centers, restaurants, transportation, etc. Generally speaking, condos are more appealing to the younger generation who are more focused on careers and not in the next phase of their lives yet. In comparison, a single-family home is usually situated in suburban areas away from the city. The usual infrastructures of a single-family home usually include schools, hospitals, shopping centers, etc. So, generally speaking, a single-family home is more likely to be appealing to families with children and/or the elderly who are looking to settle down. But there are also exceptions. So in general, the rent is higher for condo than a single-family home given the same square footage. Number 3, aesthetics. The aesthetic appeal of a condo and a single family is another important point that investors should consider. The aesthetic appeal of a condo usually rests on its view. In Miami and Florida typically, a condo with an ocean view or a panoramic view is more valuable than one without. In addition, the higher the floor level, the more valuable a condo is because the view is better. Condo penthouses usually hold the highest value in a building because they have the best views. In comparison, a single-family home's aesthetic appeal is more about its surroundings like curbside appeal, backyard, pool, landscape, etc. In addition, what's also important is the community amenities like golf course, tennis court, lake, and natural environment. So a condo and a single-family home have different aesthetic appeal, and you should combine it with your investment goal before making a decision. Number 4, vacancy rate and turnover rate. Vacancy rate and turnover rate are also important for investors when comparing a condo and a single-family home. Vacancy rate reduces the annual rental income and should be reduced as much as possible. As for turnover rate, a property with a different tenant each year has more operating costs than a property with the same tenant over the period of several years. Ideally, both vacancy rate and turnover rate should be minimized. Generally speaking, Condos have higher yearly vacancy rate and turnover rate. This is because after several years, the rent may increase and the tenant may move because condo tenants have more alternative rental options and are more budget sensitive. But since condos have a lot of rental opportunities, finding a tenant is usually not a big issue if the rental price is positioned correctly. Compared with condos, single-family homes usually have relatively lower yearly vacancy rate and turnover rate. This is because, generally speaking, when faced with a rent increase, single-family home tenants have less alternative rental options and are less budget sensitive. When the rental price is correct, single-family home tenants may stay several years before moving. So investors should remember that condos generally have higher vacancy rate, higher turnover rate, but higher rent than single-family homes. Number 5, restrictions. Restrictions is another important comparison for investors. Condos are usually managed by a condominium association that collects HOA fees, which are used to maintain the common areas of a building, such as pool, gym, lounge, business center, etc. Single-family homes also have homeowners associations that collect HOA fees, which are used to maintain the common areas. But generally speaking, single-family homes have lower HOA fees than condos. Depending on the location, some single-family homes may not have HOA fees at all. So restrictions and HOA fee are also important for investors to consider. Number 6, payment structure. The payment structure is also different when comparing a condo and a single-family home. A condo usually requires a higher percentage of down payment and have more financing restrictions than a single-family home. So these are the 6 comparisons between investing a condo and a single-family home. Depending on the budget and risk tolerance level, the investment should be structured accordingly. After such comparison, we can safely conclude that both value appreciation and cash flow generation are important for investors, and that condos and single-family homes are 2 different types of investment properties. So my advice is this: for investors with a lower cash budget, it's better to start with single-family home to maximize the leveraging power of financing while building equity. For an investor with higher cash budget, it's better to go with condo, which generates higher cash flow and higher return on investment. Another important concept for investors is that they should diversify their investment opportunities as much as possible. If this is not your first investment property and you have invested in a single-family home before, you can diversify by investing a condo. And if you have invested in a condo before, you can diversify by investing a single-family home. When you diversify, you will make a much more successful investment decision by gaining the benefits of both and minimize the risk of both. So I hope you find today's video useful in the comparison between investing a condo and a single-family home. In the next video, I will be updating the housing market in Miami and Florida. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next weekend.